The smart Baton Rouge business traveler travels out of Baton Rouge. Why? It's about not having to wake up hours earlier, fight traffic, and stand in long lines. It's also about BTR being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere your business takes you. Smart. So for your business, if it's about being one step ahead and not dead on your feet, then it's about time you flew BTR. Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
That's right, you heard that voice. It's Inside the Jaguar Nation. Morgan Beard here, Aaron Lee there, and as always, we're bringing it to you each and every week here on Inside the Jaguar Nation. Now, when baseball season started, Aaron, we mentioned it was the beginning of a new era. Roger Cador out after 33 years, making way for Carrick Jackson, and now very different circumstances, but it's a new era for the men's basketball team, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right, Morgan. Interim head coach Morris Scott led the team last season, but this week, Southern's bringing in a familiar face to lead the men's basketball program. And it's Sean Woods. So let's get to know the new coach, shall we? A Kentucky Wildcat basketball Hall of Famer is making a return to the SWAC. Woods led Mississippi Valley State to a SWAC championship and an NCAA tournament appearance in 2012, which earned him Conference Head Coach of the Year honors. Morgan?
Yeah, that's right, Aaron. Woods most recently comes from Stetson University, where he was an assistant coach following a 5-year stint as Morehead State's head coach. Woods saying in his introductory press conference that it's more than just that conference familiarity when he was in the SWAC that brought him here. He has a history with Southern Athletics Director Roman Banks and feels that this relationship could be the start of something very great on the blow.
I want to be around people that want to be great. And I don't think Roman and I would have come together at this particular time if we weren't thinking alike. And the best thing about my situation, more so than any other coach that just got hired this year, is they're going to the unknown. So I think I'm the luckiest coach in the United States right now to be your coach.
Yeah, good stuff there from Sean Woods, kind of rallying the troops and getting ready for his first year. We were both there at his press conference earlier this week, and that excitement seemed real genuine above all. That's what you want for any new head coach. And obviously he's thankful to be back in the SWAC, take the reign at Southern. But
Morgan, there's always a but.
Yeah.
Look, Sean Woods, he was known for being a good player at Kentucky, but he does have a past when it comes to his coaching history, and it's not rosy. See, we all remember his stint at Morehead State, where he had the incident with a player who he shoved a little bit, playing against his former school. He put his hands on a player, and we can't sugarcoat that. But hey, maybe the emotions was running high that game, and it was against his former school. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but he briefly addressed that matter in last week's press conference. But hey, here's the point. He needs to build trust with his players first, get to know them, and then he needs to build trust with that coaching staff to say, hey, I'm here to lead these guys. I'm here to lead these guys to a championship, and I can be that leader this season.
Well, that whole staff had the opportunity, so they are no strangers. Sean is no strangers to Coach Scott and to that staff. He's been knowing them as well. You know, we done had many dinners together on the road, and so that staff will be with him for another 60 days. And so that staff has a chance to prove his word, to have chemistry with him, and they will talk about that outcome.
All right, as always, we bring you the sweet sounds of the human jukebox, and it's time for our first break, but later in the show, we'll give you an update on the diamond and tell you how the Jaguars did this week on the road. What else we got, Morgan?
hey, yeah, coming up, we're not done with the new man in town, Sean Woods. A little one-on-one. Unfortunately, it's not on the basketball court. One-on-one interview, Aaron Lee, Sean Woods, coming up next here on Inside the Jaguar Nation.
You're watching Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm, with Brian Holland, Morgan Beard, Ashley Lyotis, and Aaron Lee.
That's right. Welcome back to the show. We just got to know the new Southern men's basketball head coach, Sean Woods. He was introduced earlier this week, and now Aaron Lee going one-on-one with the new guy in town.
I'm here with Southern Jaguars' brand new coach, Sean Woods, and just tell me about the feeling today, the thoughts of you saying you're being a Southern Jaguar right now, and just seeing all the coaching support that you're getting today.
Well, it's overwhelming. You know, I'm feeling kind of numb because, you know, it's a, I don't even know how to explain it. You know what I mean? The good thing is I have familiarity, and I know the potential of Southern University and the tradition and the players that's played here, from Avery Johnson to Bobby Fields to Coach Ben Jobe, and I just want to be a part of it and take it to the next level, which what they had already had done.
You talk about that tradition as far as Southern has. Coach Roman Bates, you know, who former coach. Will you try to implement some of those same things or bring in a whole new mentality or try to infuse both of them?
What's going to be familiar with me is the winning culture. You know, my style of play may be different, but at the end of the day, I'm going to put a product out there, and as hard as our players are going to work and the enthusiasm that we have and the passion that we play with, is going to be very, very attractive for Southern Jaguar fans.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, Aaron, hang tight. I'm going to need help right here. We always like to see what's happening on the bluff and what's new. And as we do every single week, let's bust out that calendar and check out what's ahead. Aaron, what you got on this week's SU calendar?
All right, let's start with baseball. Look, we got that big series coming up against a rival in Grambling State Friday, April 20th at 6 p.m., Saturday, April 21st at 4 p.m., and then they finish it off Sunday at 1 p.m. Now let's move on to softball. Softball, they have a weekend series on the road at Texas Southern Friday, April 20th at 3 p.m. Then they have a doubleheader Saturday, April 21st. First game's at noon, second game's at 2 p.m. Moving right along in the calendar, track and field. Hey, they're at your alma mater, Morgan.
Hey,
LSU.
over at LSU, all right.
This Saturday, April 21st, for the Alumni Gold Invitational, and that time is still to be announced. And let's round that off with football, some great football this Saturday, April 21st, Southern Spring football game. And again, we're waiting on that time as well.
But of course, we will be there. And football brings the human jukebox right here. We've seen and heard the sounds and images all year long of the human jukebox here on the show. And before we know it, it's going to be live and in action and in color. And hey, it's time for another break. But Southern had a celebration this past week with the alumni, the athletic department, and many others. It was a party out there. We'll tell you why later.
And up next, as the softball season is coming to a close, the seniors were honored this past weekend. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Welcome back to Inside the Jaguar Nation. I'm Aaron Lee. He's Morgan Beard, and it was a bit bittersweet moment this weekend for Southern softball, Morgan.
Yeah, that's right. The final home series for the Jaguars versus Jackson State. And before we talk about those departing seniors and bust out the tissue, let's look at some of those results, huh, Aaron?
Hey, it was no crying on the field because the Southern Jaguars had a doubleheader, which in the first game they put up 11 runs against Jackson State. It was a blowout. They couldn't even finish it, 5 innings. And then in game 2 of the doubleheader, again, blew them out.
Domination.
8-0, 5 innings. Always good to see them putting up big runs in the swag.
That's right. They know the season is nearing its end, and for those seniors, they're trying to end it on a high note. Southern softball team honored at their closeout banquet for those seniors this past weekend. Kiera Shuttle, Jamani Greer, Sydney Andrews playing that last home series this weekend versus Jackson State, the dominating series that is for Southern. Head coach John Garris honoring them with plaques, dinner, teammates, giving them some gifts. So basically the nice senior send-off they all deserve to cement their Jaguar careers.
Well, I just want to say congratulations to Kiera, Jamani, and Sydney on a great 4 years here at Southern University. Y'all are the biggest inspirations that anyone could ever have, and I want to thank y'all for everything that y'all have done for the softball program.
Seniors have been a major part of my life majorly because not only are they my teammates, but they're also like my sisters. Like their family is my family's their family. And as well as that, they've taught me many like lessons for softball. Not only that, they've taught me stuff in the classroom and then out the classroom.
They did great in school, they did great in softball, so I think they're pretty prepared for the future. So I hope that they keep their minds right, they're high on the prize, and I hope that they get to the career they want to be in.
Well, I kind of talked to you earlier, but I just want to thank you for literally molding me into the character that I am becoming, and I wouldn't be as far or as developed without you.
I just want to wish them all the best because I know they're going to succeed in their endeavors for the future.
All right, good stuff there. We'll have more of them later, but let's look at baseball and how they did at their trip to Texas Southern this weekend, which was not good. They dropped 3 games to them, 2 Saturday, 7-6, and then 4-0, and then Sunday, today, they lost 7-5 to Texas Southern.
Hey, it's nothing that the human jukebox can't fix, though, right, Aaron?
Yeah. Bring us home, Southern the Human Jukebox. Bring us home.
Yeah, as we always do, bring you the sounds of the Human Jukebox here on Inside the Jaguar Nation. If you've been watching, you know when you see them, it's time for a break. We will try to send it at you on a high note here. Coming up later in the show, the Jaguars Foothouse will look a little different this football season, and by little, I mean a lot. We're going to have all those details for you coming up.
All right, coming up next, we have the Southern Jaguar softball seniors in our studio. We'll be right back.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Hey, welcome back to the show, and have no fear, Aaron Lee is still here. In fact, he's got some special guests on the other side of the studio. We talked about that softball team a bit earlier, and now we talk to them. Aaron?
I'm here with the Southern Jaguar softball team. I have Kiara Suttles, Sydney Andrews, Jamani Greer, and Coach John Gares. Here to talk a little softball, and my first question to you guys was, yesterday was the closeout senior banquet, and Kiara, just give me your thoughts of having Coach there, having your family there, and having all that good family, friend, food, fun yesterday.
Everything. I think everything was amazing. We had the support there that has been there since we started softball, from when we were kids to when we started playing at the collegiate level. Also, I love the banquet because it showed their appreciation towards us and all the work that we put in throughout the season and off season.
Now, Jamani, you had the big extra jersey, you know. Explain that. Was that on your parents or was that the school? You know, are you the extra one on the team?
I'm not the extra one. Sydney's actually the extra one. But it was on my dad.
It was on your dad?
Yes.
It was on your dad?
Yes.
Now, as far as special gifts, you got a special cup, Sydney, you know, that said Queen on it. They say you're the extra one. I see Coach talk to you in between each inning of every game. Can you tell us a little bit of those conversations that you guys have one-on-one?
Well, me and Coach G, we have a certain type of softball bond and bond period. So, you know, he can really tell me maybe like 1 or 2 words and it clicks just like that, or it's like, you know, oh, you know, for your teammates, you know, pass this along, you know, maybe you can say it better than I can. And we just click that way, and my teammates and I click that way. But me and Coach G, it's a special.
Anything that you guys want to say to Coach, as like I said, he's been a role model to you guys over these years. Any lasting words you want to give the coach?
Thank you. That's basically it. Thank you for everything. Because like you said, we've been here for 4 years, but you've been here for 4 years as well as the head coach, and you didn't have to keep us, and we also didn't have to stay, but we both chose to stay and be a Jaguar.
Yeah, I only been covering them a season, and they're difficult. So you had to deal with them for 4 years.
They're the ones who deserve the big thank you from me.
All right, before we get out of here, we want to talk about the Jagathon that's coming up this weekend. Coach, can you give us a little information about that?
Absolutely. Our Jagathon is a radio call-in show. We have 24 hours blocked out where people can call in and make pledges. We have some donors that have already given some donations to our team, and so they're going to come on and they're going to challenge others to step up. And as you know, we played our entire season off campus. We're due for some upgrades, and we need some upgrades, but it doesn't always come from downtown, from the Capitol.
All right, thank you, Coach. For more information about that, you can go on Southern's website about the Jagathon that's happening this weekend. I want to thank the softball team for joining me in the studio. Good luck this season. Please bring home another SWAC championship. We would love that. Love that here at Fox 44. That's all we have for you. Hey, Morgan, tell us what's coming up next.
I'll tell you what's coming up next, Aaron, and you already know this, man. The sounds of the human jukebox, but hey, that's not all. Coming up next after this final break, we tell you who gave a huge donation to Southern University Athletics. Yeah, they're going to get a little FaceTime. We'll be right back with more Inside the Jaguar Nation.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Welcome back as we close it down here in Inside the Jaguar Nation. I am Morgan Beard, Aaron Lee. Hopefully by now you know who we are. We always say it 18 times a show.
But they're watching every week, right? So they should know.
Yeah, if it makes you feel better, right? It makes me sleep at night too. Earlier, in case they were watching this show, we saw Sean Woods, the new head man at Southern. But Aaron, it's this relationship between those two right there, Roman Banks and Sean Woods, that may make this one a great pairing at Southern. Isn't that right?
Yeah, this might work out. Look, athletic director Roman Banks said, I've been knowing Sean for years, and that made the decision a little bit easier in selecting him. Now, he did admit that he wasn't his first choice, but things started to fall in place when he looked at his basketball resume and he heard his vision for the Jaguars this season that ultimately sealed up the deal.
Me knowing Sean just happened to be in the box. It was all about Southern University fans and alumni and the tradition of the program. We want to know someone that won at this level, someone that had a chance to move a university to another level, someone that has an exciting style of play, someone has pedigree, someone that will understand the tradition and legacy of our programs. And as we kept going, he had more checks.
It off the list. Sean Woods doing that so far. We'll see what happens when it comes time to basketball season. Now, as we close down the show here, Aaron, Southern University is going to have a different little look there at that field house for the football team.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different this football season because it's being remodeled and it's going to be called Championship Plaza. Tell us about that, Morgan.
Yeah, it's going to feature bronze plaques in honor of Southern Jaguar Championships, LED lighting with school colors like our very set here, but that's going to be right in front of the building over there, and opportunities for any person or organization to sponsor a concrete paver. A generous donation of $1.1 million was made by alumnus attorney Tony Clayton and his family, so good stuff from them. And this project will be built by the Stewart Construction and is scheduled to be finished before the Jaguars' first football home game, September 15th.
All right, that's going to look great this football season, the first football game. It's going to be nice to see those plaques of those former Jaguars. And we got to close out the show. Join us every week for more Inside the Jaguar Nation. For Aaron Lee, Morgan Beard, see you next week.